Hello and welcome to Frightreads Presents Author Talks. This is episode number whatever. I don't keep track. Uh, so we're here once again. This is the last of March. I don't even know how that happened. Didn't I just say, "Oh, I can't wait till March because it's super busy and we have something every week"? And we did. We had great people all March to talk to. We talked about haunted locations. We talked about haunted islands and pirates' treasure. Just my God, what a month! And it went by so quickly. Which means that we're another month closer to halfway to Halloween at Marley Station Mall in Glen Burnie, Maryland. That is going to be May 9th. It's going to be the day before Mother's Day. So bring mom. It's a quick and easy gift. Tons of authors, tons of great people. I'm going to have to put my stuff on Do Not Disturb before we get disturbed. You got to love that. Yes. Anywho, so we have halfway to Halloween coming up. Tons of great stuff. A Scream cast reunion from the first Scream, and it's kind of a deep cut, but you won't regret meeting them. The bullies from the bathroom scene of Scream, the ones that are talking trash about Nev Campbell's character, and they're talking about her boyfriend having a bubble butt and all of this stuff. So you definitely want to meet Nancy Ann and Lenora. The two of them are going to be absolutely fantastic. They'll probably need an adult. They should be separated. They're going to have too much fun together. Speaking of requiring an adult, our guest this month as well, you saw Chris O'Brockie. We're going to have Chris there, who also will need an adultier adult. He's a lot of fun. Definitely stop by and talk to him. Try to squeeze him for information about Shriek Show 2, among other things, because there could be crackoons. So there's a couple of things that he's involved in. You might want to twist his arm and see if you can get some dirt. I know a lot. That's why I'm telling you to ask these questions. And then we have Michelle Santiago. She's absolutely fantastic. I just saw her this past weekend at Creature Feature Weekend. Absolutely great. She's got her hand in a couple more projects, so hopefully we'll have a few things to talk about come halfway to Halloween. Definitely stop by and talk to her about what it's like to work with the cast of Clerks, with the Terrifier crew. There's so many credits now under her belt. Definitely want to chat with her. We were actually talking about a couple of the updates. You saw a ton of authors come across today, ton of awesome vendors. I'm super excited for the fall show because we have so many more things falling into place. You definitely want to check all of that out. Obviously, the latest and greatest is on our Facebook page or Instagram page. The permanent home is on frightreads.com. So visit frightreads.com and check out everything there. So we actually announced this guy well before. So this is actually, I think he was one of our first-ish announcements. This is another returning author. Super excited to have back. We have a lot of fun things to talk about. So everybody, please welcome Andrew Hurd to the video. Hey,
Hey
things work.
everyone.
I like when things work. Uh, you click buttons and you're like, please work, please work, please work. So thanks very much. God, what is this like? Is this your fourth Fright Reads or third?
Third or fourth, I think. I
Something
don't
like that.
remember.
Because I know this will be number 2 at the fairgrounds come October.
Yeah,
And
this
then if
must be.
you're at the sports center, at least 1 or 2. I feel like you've
Yeah,
done
I
it.
think this one's gonna be my fourth. Yeah, fourth one, third book. I think that's how that's gonna work.
Yeah. Who let me run 6 years of this? I sat there the other day and I was explaining to somebody about the event, and I was like, yeah, it's in its 6th year. And then I just had like that like 1,000-yard stare where I was like, it's in its 6th year. Like, how? Who let this happen? Why? Wasn't I just in the basement of a community center like 5 seconds ago? I feel like that was just last year. So you've been able to see the change from the sports center to the Howard County Fairgrounds.
Yes, indeed.
What are your thoughts, comments, concerns, questions, complaints?
I don't. Are you kidding? I don't complain. I do a lot of these, and you are all over the place, but you really make sure to take care of everyone that comes, either guest, vendor, or author. So I appreciate that. So no complaints there. New space, yeah, it was interesting for the first go around. I definitely could
Yeah.
see you and the staff running around, kind of in the spur of the moment, it happens. It's a new space, so I
Everything's
have no
on fire.
complaints. So I'm obviously, if I had a huge problem, I wouldn't be back, but I'm back. I'm excited to
True.
be back, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing all the fun stuff. And you almost have to chain me to the table with all the cool stuff there is to do at Frightreads, so I don't run away. I actually can do my job and sell some books.
Well, I heard you're going to be away from your table for at least 30 minutes because you have to watch the Hip Hop McDougal performance.
Absolutely, I've got to do that. My wife, will make sure I see that, and probably get me into the costume contest again, like we did last year. So I'm sure I'll
And
be.
that was you guys were Resident Evil Village, right?
Yep. I did a gender bend of Lady D. I think this year we might keep the same theme, but I don't want to spoil anything just yet.
So if you guys do, I'm obviously going to have to break out my Leon Kennedy motorcycle jacket that's in the closet behind me. I dabble with growing my hair out because the new game and everything. I was like, oh, I could be old man Leon, sweet, and then I can just come up with one-liners and quips the entire day.
Don't say my idea, Harry.
Well, I'm sorry, I already own the jacket.
It's okay.
And I've been doing it. I've been dressing as Leon for 15 years. Fight me.
That's fine. If I just pick up my wife and she starts screaming, "Help, Leon," will you come chase after her?
And I'll be like, "Get back here! Hey, you! Hey, King Kong!
Going to bingo."
Down." I'll just come up with something dumb. But yeah, it's so you guys did the costume contest, which did you guys get to see the kids win? That was on the alternate day.
Yes, but I don't remember. I think Maggie was there for that one, and I was doing my thing at the table.
You're doing your thing. So to fill you in on what you missed, because I walked by at the wrong time. I walked by at the scariest moment. There was a kid up there dressed as Megan.
I remember seeing her. Yes,
and she walked up very robotic-like, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I dig it." And then she walked up, and I just remember, and Natasha goes, "And you are?" And she's like, "Hi, I'm Megan." And then like twitched a couple of times, and she's like, "I understand who you're dressed as, and what is your name, sweetheart?" And she goes, "Hi, I'm Megan, and I'm your best friend." And she's just like, "Okay." And then she did the backwards spider crawl down the ramp, and that was it. She didn't do. I was like, "That's it. That's first place. I don't care. I'll fight anyone who says otherwise."
I would have remembered that, so I for sure missed that last year.
Yeah, so the child was like crab walking around and just scaring everybody, and she was doing the back art, all that stuff, and I was like, "That's commitment.
Commitment to the character. I like it. Commit to the bit.
I dig it." But yeah, we had some good adult costumes that were up there. I love that, especially when the vendors dive in. I've had some vendors jump up there dressed as like Beetlejuice. We had another one that was dressed up as I think it was the Big Bad Wolf wearing the Red Riding Hood outfit or something. Like there was a bunch of stuff. Like it's a cool assortment, and I like, it's not closed to vendors. You're not disallowed. I mean, if that's what you want to do, is you want to dress like Batman the whole day and sweat, that's your decision. But
right.
But yeah, I just see cool stuff. There was a little xenomorph running around. Lots of really cool things. So if you're thinking about dressing up, this is definitely a cool spot. But yeah, just the upgrade from venue to venue. I've already seen what we did wrong, which was a lot, because welcome to year one at a new place. All you can do is prep and prepare and speculate, and then when you try to execute, that's kind of where we were at, with a lot of extra factors. But
of course,
parking. How about that parking lot?
Hey, I was great. I was able to get in, get it set up. I set up the night before, so it was even better. But I was just able to get in, get to my spot. Life was good.
Right in. You just walk in. You don't have to park in the woods. Travel through a forest.
They didn't have to walk through a tree.
Right. Well, that was my best compromise that I could find that seemed like it worked out at the time. But oh my God, I think it was on Saturday or Friday, one of the years, it was just raining. And the last thing you want to do is walk through like mud and trees and nature. Yeah, it's just what an improvement. A paved parking lot.
Amazing.
And I don't know if stood in line for 16 years to get one of the hot dogs. But they're coming back, and I'm going to have deli-ish.
A deli, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pumped. This year was it's definitely going to be a bunch of changes have been made, um, even ahead of time. So we're doing that. If you remember back at Benfield for our final year there, the creative writing showcase,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
that's coming back, and I love
Awesome.
that too. This I call it the amateurs get to come play. You know, you've never really published, you haven't really had anything out in the world, but you want to try something with the public and just see if everybody raises an eyebrow or just goes ugh. Um, you know, and we did that, and it was very successful the past time that we did it. So that's coming back, and then I don't know if you're diving into it, but we're also doing the Fright Reads anthology.
Yes, my editor owes me a edited copy of the story by the end of the month, and I will submit it to you all. I am definitely leaning into what makes me me, my Celtic mythology with cats. It's very, very. Everyone that's read it so far has kind of given me there's something really, really messed up in your head, and I love it. Look, so
Perfect.
Yeah. So I'm excited to submit that and see where that goes.
Yeah, we got I was kind of looking to see what's in the pot already, and I'm not reading the stories because that's for me, like, to just sit there one after the next, so I can really, like, not really think about or play favorites or anything. I'm going to get just clean, slick copies. I don't know who wrote it, and if the story, you know, resonates, it's making the cut,
There
and
you
then
go.
it's going to be to a panel of, you know, 3 blind people, including me. You know, we're just going to kind of be like, all right, yeah, this story vibes. I dig it. But one of them's like a crime noir. There's a dark gothic story, and then there's one that's like sci-fi comedy or something. Like, I'm looking at the different genres that are listed, and I'm like, I can't wait for this book to be all over the place.
And that's the
And
beauty
that's
of it.
Fright Reads. And that's
Yeah.
Fright Reads in a nutshell. Like, you can't just go, ew, I don't like horror. Well, keep walking. Because there's another guy that does like an outer space adventure. Keep walking. There's another guy that fights dragons. Then you
Right.
have somebody that writes Lord of the Rings style. And then what you write. You know, so it's, I mean, it's not out of the cards to find you're going to find somebody there that you're into.
There really is something for everybody, and it's family friendly too, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I like keeping it family friendly, and I tell everybody it's no scarier than like the Halloween aisle of a Walmart or Spirit Halloween. Like,
That's
it's
about
about what
right.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have so you've had the 2 books. Because when I met you, you had the first book, and you were
Yes.
excited to have the other one on the horizon, which has since come and gone. Doing
Mm-hmm.
several Fright Reads is in between.
Yes.
But with your book, because of the magnitude of what you're getting into, it sounds like it takes a lot of research and making sure that things are right.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing with what you get into. So what are the Celt books about for anybody that's never heard of you?
Yeah, so the first 2 are kind of like the hidden message underneath all of the fantasy, all of the questing, the adventuring. It's all about this message of unity, togetherness, understanding one another based on, faith and things like that. I know the 2 things you don't talk about is politics and religion. I talk about both heavily in these books. So, it might make some people a little uncomfortable going in, and that's the idea. But book 3, it's going to take that tolerance narrative and flip it on its head of what happens when you're not. What happens when you're so blinded by rage and by hate that you can't see the other side and you don't want to. And you would rather just quest and adventure and fight it out. It's going to take the perspective of my villain, a little bit behind the scenes things. My villain was my first ever character. So he's got a special place for me. Well before my main character ever existed, this character did. So I'm excited to explore his story. You get a little bit of his backstory of what it's like to grow up as Lucifer's son. So that's always going to be, again, a little controversial, but a lot of fun to really kind of bring characters that you would expect to be in like that pure evil category and move them a little bit into the gray. There's ins and outs.
And there's so many movies and TV shows that, I mean, over the past decade or so, that have been toying with that.
Mm-hmm.
Where I mean, look at I mean, the titular character, Lucifer.
Yeah.
He's the devil, but we love the devil in this show. The devil's snarky, he's fun, he's wisecracking and actually not a dick. Well, he is in the beginning, but like but he's actually well intentioned and trying to be a good guy. And that all ties into, like, if you stick with just the surface level, the devil's a bad man, the end. That's what Lucifer is, a bad man. Lucifer was technically an angel. And if you go into the lore of the backstory, Lucifer was a good guy until he was like, hey, what if we did some changes around here? And then management didn't like that. And he basically gets it very much parallels a lot of the stuff with like Hades. Yeah. Hades kind of gets stuck with running the underworld. And I love talking to people about this. I'm like, there's so many parallels with all the different religions and the backgrounds. Lucifer is basically Hades in a nutshell. The Lord of the Underworld, he's basically the overseer, the store manager, if you will.
Sure.
And he's just there to kind of keep it running smooth, because you still, while it sucks and it sounds like he's a bad man, there's a need for that operation to run. So for Hades and his sake, having that well-oiled machine of the souls going in and going through the process, that keeps life and the balance all running. And it's kind of the same thing in the case of Lucifer. So it's not that far-fetched to make him kind of a nicer guy, or maybe like an anti-hero at best. You can really play with it. I think Supernatural did that with the devil.
Supernatural did.
Very anti-hero. Like you kind of rooted for him because he kind of had a mild redemption arc, but he was still kind of a dick at the end. You had that. I'm trying to think of other instances where, we take a notoriously bad guy and make him fun and happy and likable. It's kind of commonplace now. But it's always refreshing and fun.
Yeah, it's really fun to take this journey with him, because he is, on the surface, when you meet him in the first couple of books, he's a jerk, and he is like that stereotypical bad guy. And that's, again, it's all done on purpose. When I'm talking to somebody as a practicing pagan author, they need someone that they can relate to, and who doesn't know the name Lucifer? So yes, he is that ultimate villain until you dig deeper, and until, not to spoil any of the books, until another villain emerges from that confrontation. And that's where the other books come into play. And real quick, I see it in the chat, and I did say I would say this. Hi, Liam. Just saying hi to my son.
See, I'll put it up there again, so it's not just weird. Yep. There we go. Boom.
There he is. So he's probably getting ready for bed soon. So.
And then you guys were the group contest winners. Woo.
Woo.
Yeah, but but that's always kind of fun too, is you have the ultimate big bad, and you're like, Lucifer's so bad. And then something worse comes along, and then you're like, team up? And that happens a lot in stories too, where the bad guy just kind of, like, we just finished Cobra Kai. So like, they almost do a team up, because they're like, well, this other guy is even more of a dick than everybody else that we've encountered. So what if we put our powers together? I don't like you, but you're strong in your own right. I'm strong in my right. And I think the two of us can take this guy down. That happens a lot too. So I can't imagine why, Lucifer's the big bad and some other guy comes, kicking in the door, and all of a sudden everybody needs to like shake hands and put aside differences and throw down.
Yeah.
As a team. Now it's the Justice League of deities.
Yeah, it's going to culminate to something in that vein, where there's going to be this final battle, which is book 5, which is probably going to be what are we at? Frightreads 6, so like Frightreads 13. I'll have book 5 done, and we'll have the whole series. But it's all leading towards like that final, who's going to make it through this conflict, and how do we rebuild from that? Again, keeping that message of, I believe in one thing, you believe in something completely different, that's totally cool. We can still find that common ground.
Yeah. And I liked it because I remember when I first met you, when you had book one, I was like, this is a dope premise that will piss a lot of people off. But
Yeah.
if it perseveres, this is it. This is going to be really cool because it's something that kind of gets done, but not in this way. Like it
Yeah.
gets touched on. Like oh my god, there's like 1,000,001 Netflix and Disney shows or whatever that do inklings of this. So it's kind of cool the way that you pulled in both your history with one religion and now your experience with a newfound belief system.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that you kind of melded all of that together. So you're coming at both sides with experience and knowledge. And this is stuff that you've been, has been beaten into your skull when you were a child. So this is just second nature. And then all the new stuff that you passionately pursue. It's kind of cool to like meld that world. And I was just like interested in it immediately. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool.
Yeah, it's been dare I say, a hell of a journey where, at one point I was the bass guitar player in a praise and worship band, and I kind of found religion on my own as an adult. I never really grew up in a religious household, which I guess is kind of to my benefit in creating the story. Everything that I've done has been through my own organic research and learning and experiences. So, I was the guitar player in a praise band, and now I don't do that, obviously, and I have all of this other imagery and a whole new belief system that I found during some rather dark times in my life that have kind of helped guide me through it. So again, I'm not the one standing in a field on Samhain doing a ritual, but I am acknowledging that it exists.
True. But wouldn't it be fun if you still played in that faith band and just wore like the most pagan stuff, and you're just like, yeah, and everybody's just like, oh.
They did when we were playing the praise and worship music. I can only imagine what I would be, the reaction I would get now. But it's fun. We play trivia about 3 doors down from that church, so I drive by it every week, and I just kind of look and smile and wave, and there were some good times there, and a lot of good. Yeah, I learned how to play bass guitar, which was kind of cool.
There you go. All I think of is it just goes back to South Park. I just think of Cartman's multiple attempts to create a some kind of Christian rock band or Christian boy band or Christian group. Literally any iteration that he's done over the past like 29 years of this show.
You go myrrh instead of platinum.
Yeah. That's all I think about. I'm just like, faith plus one. Yes. Because we have faith, but one more plus one. And then it was just sex songs that he just replaced the word Jesus with.
Yeah, instead of baby to Jesus.
Yeah, baby to Jesus and girl to Jesus.
And now I'm wearing a ghost shirt, so we've come full circle.
And meanwhile I got Death Clock on, so totally metal here. Yeah, so like obviously rock music is a big thing.
Absolutely.
And I got to see you and your wife share 1,000,001 pictures. You got to play, I think, one of my favorite horror musicals.
Absolutely.
It's close because it's got to compete with Little Shop of Horrors. And it really depends on my mood. Do I want something super artsy or something super cornball?
Something extremely campy.
But you got to be part of the shadow cast of Rocky Horror.
Yes.
Which you've done various iterations, but you did what I think is like the coolest, shortest run character. He comes in and he's done. Like I think you see him in the beginning of the movie for like 1/8 of a second, and you're like, hey, there he is on the motorcycle. And then you don't see this guy until he's pulled out of the freezer.
Yep.
You got to be Eddie.
I get to be Eddie every year. I get a 3-minute moment where I have 700 people in the palm of my hand, and then I'm instantly murdered. It is the greatest 3 minutes of my entire year, being on stage with a bunch of really cool people in a really cool theater. It's actually, if you've ever seen the movie The Blob, the old school one, it's where the blob comes through in the theater. Like that's the theater we perform in. So it's really cool to kind of be in that space of horror history, to give back to the theater. We don't get paid to do the show. We show up, make a ton of money for the theater, and then we leave with glitter and breadcrumbs and playing cards still on the floor. But yeah, being Eddie is so much fun. And if you've never seen Rocky Horror with the Shadowcast, go and see it. It is so wild. It is so much fun. I see Maggie's in the chat. She was my Columbia last year, so it's always fun to do that song and dance with your wife, and I don't have to worry about, am I going too far? Are we being too risque? Well, we're married at the end of the day, so we can do whatever we want. We'll push the boundaries a little bit.
Exactly. You can get a closeness that you don't have to really second guess and get in your own head. Like, is this person going to be okay? Like, no, it's my wife. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's Rocky Horror, so most of the time, people have been cool. But
everybody kind of gets it, which is great. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. So do you like? I saw how they did it when we saw Rocky Horror on an anniversary showing or something at the Hippodrome down in Baltimore. When you come in as Eddie, because I know there's only so much you can do as a shadow cast. You're basically just miming out what's going on. Did you come in like pretending to be on a motorcycle? Because I mean, that's his whole scene, is just running around. Did you just run in circles for the most part?
Pretty much. I had handlebars that I drop right when the thing starts, and I don't pick them up again. So even when he's near the end of the song riding through, I'm riding through the crowd just with my hands like this, as if I'm holding onto a bike. I'll share. My buddy did the same role in a different shadow cast. He came in on a scooter, and he yeeted that thing, and I think he might have took out somebody in the first row. So we learned from that. We don't really have a scooter or a motorcycle or anything like that, but God, it is such a rush.
Yeah, it just sounds like fun, because I know what they did with mine, which was they ran around like a fool for the whole 2.5, 3 minutes, pretending to be on a motorcycle, and just I don't think they interacted with the crowd. I think everything stayed on stage, which would have been cool to just go down the aisle, turn around, and come back down. Get a little interactivity, but it's so much fun. And my wife isn't really a fan of it. Like she tolerates Rocky Horror, but I think her first experience with that film, during the pandemic, we started doing outdoor movie nights with friends where we would sit with our lawn chairs 50 feet apart.
Yeah.
And I had an outdoor projector, and I put some outdoor speakers up, and we would watch movies outside projected on the side of my shed. And Rocky Horror was one of ours that we picked. And all of my neighbors, they're not even really watching. They're just kind of listening. They're sitting out by their fire pits doing their own thing, but they hear my Rocky Horror playing. But what they also heard was Ryan, who does my sound and a lot of the assistance for setting up Frightreads. They heard him with every single callback he could remember. And that was the first experience, because like my wife kept looking over going, why does he keep yelling asshole, slut, asshole? And I'm like, it's the thing. You're supposed to. You're supposed to do that. When he's like, Antissa, and he starts screaming out, say it. It's like, yeah, that's the thing. Like so that was her first experience, was like, what is wrong with Ryan, and why is he screaming at the movie? And I'm like, no, that's the thing.
That's what you do.
Like that. And then we went and finally did the shadow cast thing, where now we have a room full of, I don't know, 400 or 500 people, however many get in the Hippodrome, and they're all screaming all of the callbacks and everything that you're supposed to yell and say. There were a few different variants here and there, as there would be, regionally or whatever, but generally they were all on the same track. And she's just like, oh, so this is a thing. And I was like, you don't understand. This is a thing.
This is the thing.
And I love it. And I love live theater. Obviously, I go to the Hippodrome for just about everything they play. But have you gotten to peek at when we have Reagan and the Who right here on stage? They get to do their live stage plays.
I've seen a few of them, yeah. Mainly in passing.
Yeah. That's about all I get, is in passing. I'm like, oh, that's a cool scene. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, it always comes in waves, not just Frightreads, but all of these events where like I'm not doing anything for an hour and a half, and then something cool's happening, and that's like the psychological cue where 20 people will come and say hi to me, and want to know about my story. I'm like, well, I guess I should do my job. Let me tell you about the books and see if I can leave with a few less than I came with.
That's always the plan. But yeah, they did. What did they do last year? They did the it was Be a Doll and Die, I think was the play that they did, which was a murder mystery, and they were all the famous dolls. And
Oh,
I just love that Reagan actually writes a brand new play. You're asking somebody to put together an original production, cast it, and perform it every 6 months, give or take.
Right.
However that shakes out yearly. But like every 6 months, we're getting a new show. It's never going to be the same one repeated twice. We're getting something brand new and something that's kind of spooky centralized in that same, in the bracket that fits for us. And I absolutely love that. But I know how hard it is to want to watch that and also go home with 3 empty boxes.
Yeah.
What a struggle.
What a pleasure. It's
yeah.
Myself and anyone else that does that. I know you are also a writer. We're in like an elite club, and even though it doesn't feel like it because we're not making millions upon millions of dollars on doing it, we're still in this.
You're not.
Well, yeah, right.
I'm not either, but
somebody out there is.
Somebody.
But we're in this elite club of people that took this idea, turned it into a thing, and now we get to share that passion with people. And if we're lucky, people share it back financially a little bit. But it's the biggest joy to be able to stand behind a table and just say, I did this thing and I think you might like it.
And you know what's just one notch above selling a book is somebody coming in who already bought your book previously and wants to talk to you about it and then maybe buy book 2 and eventually 3.
And book 3.
Yeah, that's like so my whole thing is self-deprecation 1,000%. Like that's my knee-jerk reaction. And somebody said, oh my God, I bought this book. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
No refunds, but so sorry. But no, they're ready to gush over how much fun it was to read it. And they want the next one, or they want something else in there. And there's like all joking and self-deprecation and witty quips that I'll have aside. That's so awesome. Like it really is. And then like that almost verifies you. Like it's your vindication that yes, I am doing a thing.
It's your real life blue check mark.
Yeah. It's your blue check mark.
Yeah, I've had that feeling a couple times at Frightreads. I forget, it's one person who comes up. She came to halfway to Halloween last year. It's like, do you have book 3? And I was like, no, I'm working on it. So if she comes to halfway to Halloween this year, the answer is going to be, no, I'm still working on it. But do you want to pre-order it? Because it will be out by Frightreads. So
yeah,
that will be, I'm coming with 3 books, not 2 this year.
Oh, 2.5. It's almost there.
It's in the hands of, it's out of my hands and in my editor's hands. And that is a huge weight
to start. Yeah, because I just got so I've been doing a thing where I've been going back through my whole old library stuff that I wrote 10 plus years ago. Yeah. Oh my God, who let me write those things? And what was it? So I don't know if you got to see my last release, but it was about a Comic-Con that tries to kill everyone.
Yes.
So a lot of the things that are going on now are going to make it into the next book because a lot of the stuff is very parallel to the real life situation. So me getting food poisoning, actual people that came up to my table made it into the book because you were just so freaking weird that I couldn't just ignore this guy. I had a guy at a Big Lit Comic-Con came up to my table and had me give the elevator pitch of every single one of my books. I have 10 plus titles.
Right.
That's a lot of books. So there I am. Okay, so this one's about blah, 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 blah. Okay, and this one is about blah, 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 blah. I do that, a dozen times. And the man looks at me and he goes, ah, yes, well, thank you for regaling me with your tales of adventure and whim. I unfortunately lack any formal currency, but I must bid you farewell. Tips an imaginary hat and walks away. And I just kind of looked, and thank God everybody was at my table with me. Like one of them was like tying his shoe and the other one was getting a snack. And he's like, what was that guy's deal? And I was like, I don't know, but he's going into the book. And this was, I was probably 4 or 5 days out from it being in the editor's hands.
Yeah,
And I
hang
was
on a
like,
tick.
insert crazy guy. Where a crazy guy go? So in this one, I'm going to make a joke at my own expense because it's an editing note that I got a text message for. Like when it's a text message note, that means that it was so good, that it was so bad that it was good.
Right.
And I used the wrong horse. And he's like, I was screaming so much I became hoarse. And he's like, I have never changed into another animal, no matter how hard I screamed. So I think you used the wrong horse. And I was like, did I horse? And he's like, nay, sir, you used the wrong horse. And then it was just memes of Mr. Ed for a while, and I'm just like, oh god.
Oh God.
So now I'm going to find some way to shoehorn that into the book. I think that's just hilarious. But yeah, just little things like that. Like stuff can be so impactful and just it gives you that vindication that like I think I gave up on trying to be a serious author a long time ago. I was like, you know what, whatever, dude. I'm just gonna have fun.
Yep.
I'm not here to change lives. I'm not here to be profound. I'm not here to be in the the annals of like the greats. I'm just here for a good time, and that's what I started writing. So it's always fun to hear an author that's not writing what the people want, but what makes them happy, because you can see the change in your face when you're talking about something you're proud of
Mm-hmm.
versus something that you're just like, yeah, well, this book is it's a sci-fi adventure about a turtle who gets a laser gun, whatever. And then you're just like, but anyway, this is about Zeus who punches God in the face, and then
And we
like,
have a WrestleMania battle royale with all the gods.
and Macho Man Randy Savage for some reason is one of the gods.
And
We
he
don't know
still
why,
wins.
and he still wins
Just Macho Man. No,
because
no
he's the cream
deity.
of the crop, and it rises to the top.
That Slim Jim, man. It's got some divine powers to it.
Yeah, but but it's always fun to see, like, because even I do it. Like if there's a book, you have the three, but when you have a diverse selection of books, there's always the one that you're like, you always have your favorite kid.
You have your favorite kid. Uh-huh.
And your face lights up when you're like, yeah, so this one's about this. And then people are like, can you tell me about that? And you're like, well,
Well, I can.
I don't want to. Do you really? I guess. Okay.
Yes, yeah,
So guess this is about this. Is that good? That good enough?
that's good enough. You cool.
Now I feel dirty. Thanks. But it is fun to, like, now that I'm in this world of, we have almost 200 authors or something like that under that roof. You just hear just such a diverse amount of people with different passions that are all over the place, and it almost reignites your passion too.
Oh yeah.
Because if you start to feel a little defeated, or you're like, I don't know, and then you're just hanging around all your buddies and they're all hyping up books and hyping up your book, and it just, you come back out of it like, yeah, I'm ready to write another book.
It is such an odd but fun dynamic where everyone's there trying to do the same thing and you're in direct competition, but you also care if they do well. Like, I'm
Right.
here to eat, but I also hope you eat too. And if you eat a little bit more than me, that's okay as long as I ate, right? It's like
Yeah.
this really interesting vibe of a community where we're all there again to leave a slightly less amount of books than we came with, make a little bit of money. We're not going to be, most of us are not going to be the next George R.R. Martin, even though he's never going to finish that book anyway. But
So maybe I will be. You
it
don't
may
know.
be. Yeah, I mean, I can not finish a book too.
What if you just don't finish three? Yeah,
Yeah.
you could be George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, that's at some point.
The dragons are coming. The White
that-
Walkers are coming. Okay.
Yeah.
Just keep your shirt on, everybody. It's fine.
They'll be there once he does 20,000 other things first. But it is such a really cool community of authors where we just kind of say, hey, you do the same thing I do. That's really cool. I hope you do well. Oh, I hope you do well.
Yeah. That's been kind of my thing too. I suffer from severe imposter syndrome. I am in a room full of authors, and here I am. I'm sorry you came to my table. Can I redirect you to anybody else before you make a poor choice in your life? That's always my mentality, is like, why are you here for directions? Is this just someplace to set down your soda so you can put your jacket on? Like, why are you at my table? But a lot of the stuff that I do is always intentioned around trying to lift others up. Like even Nightmares Unbound, when I put this book out, at the end of the book there are links to all of the real people that I killed or otherwise in the book. So you get to sit with these people for 300 or whatever some odd pages. These are real people. Now you've gotten to know them. Oh, they're a real person.
They're real.
Here's their books. And the books that I kind of make fun of, I absolutely tear apart Brian's books. And, I have fun. I make fun of Javier's books, J.A. Barrios.
Yeah.
I call it the Lizard People book. I'm very dismissive, jokingly, like, yeah, the Lizard People book. But that's exactly how I pitch it in person. I'm like, yeah, it's a Lizard People book. You want to hear about it? And that's the same level of excitement, because, like, you're like, oh, this guy actually knows what's in the book. I do, because I read it. It's great. It's kind of fun. And I designed his book covers. So,
Heck yeah.
So yeah, I kind of have some stake in the game. Not really. Once the covers are done, I'm out of the picture.
Yeah, right.
But I like to see that the book is thriving and succeeding, and to have people get to the end of the book and say, here are the real authors and vendors. And then that's the same MO behind the anthology for Frightreads. Now it's going to be, here is author X, and they are located at booth 29 or whatever. You can go see them. They're in this book. And there will be a special, like, scavenger hunt type of map that tells you where everybody's going to be at. So you'll get a special list that, Andrew's going to be at booth 91, or I'm trying to think of, like, who else has even applied, but Brian Paoni is at booth 19. And, and then you can just look at that and just wander and almost have a checklist of everybody. And then you can get your signatures and whatever. And my goal is also not to sell them at the merch booth. I want y'all to sell them.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the door sales. I don't care. At the end of the day, I got the door sales. If you guys sell books, that's the goal. I want you at your table to sell it, not for somebody to come up and be like, I bought this at the merch booth. And then you're just like, thanks.
Hey,
could have got it at my table.
Just don't skip my story when you get to it. There you go.
Feel free to skip my story. It's terrible. It's so it's funny, because I actually had a story, because I was like, why did I give myself this theme, and then I don't have anything for it? I had no ideas for what we were doing, and I was like, so I'm going to write a story about cats. All right. I have nothing in the shoots. No idea, no snippet, no nothing. But then I remembered that I had a story that I sent off to Weird Tales.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't Weird Tale enough. And I was like, I could take that, reevaluate it, and I think I'm going to shift some of the perspective, kind of play with some stuff, and I think it'll work better. And I think I wrote about half of it, and I was like, I like this.
Yeah, this will work.
I like this. I just need to finish it. Story of my life. I like this. I just need to finish it. Nothing but great ideas. Poor execution.
Hey, when it happens, you got an event to plan, other full-time jobs. I couldn't tell you the last time I sat down and actually wrote something besides the story for the anthology. But I haven't touched book 4. I haven't outlined book 5, and yeah, that's all in the head. It's just like, I need to do that, but then it's, I gotta go to work, or I gotta go to bed because I gotta go to work, or I want to spend time with my son. And yeah, I swear I will finish it. I'm not George R.R. Martin. I will finish it. But
and for me, it's the exact opposite, because, like, I'll have all of my other responsibilities handled. That'll all be done. We checked all the boxes. I have nothing but free time. I can sit down. Chapter 1, or Resident Evil Requiem is calling. And I do have to roundhouse kick a bunch of zombies.
I need to finish that final puzzle now that you reminded me. Thank you.
Oh my God. I'm actually on that. I'm going to go back through casual, because I was completing the puzzle steps, the wait 15 minutes for no freaking reason. Any video game that makes me sit there for a real life 15 to 20 minutes just staring, just doing nothing. I'm like on my phone. I'll like answer an email or two, update Facebook. So I did that. I did all the steps. I got the doll. I'm ready to go for the next playthrough, where I guess I still have to go through like a good 30% of the game.
Yeah, you gotta get to Emily again, and that's where I'm at. I'm about to restart again. I got the doll, and even Maggie was like, she was sitting there kind of watching, like, why aren't you going into the grinding section? I know that's next. I'm like, no. I got to sit here for 15 minutes. I have a timer on my phone.
12 minutes to go.
Yeah. So why? I don't know. The game said so. So we're going to just.
And what's wild is it's a challenge that isn't even explained. There's nothing in there. The only reason somebody figured it out is because they data mined
it. Yeah.
And I'm just like, what a deep cut. Why are we like this, Capcom? Can we just, Silent Hill is pretty straightforward with their requirements. I mean, they're still a little hidden, but it's not like they're that obscured. I got to find the UFO posters so I can activate the UFO ending, whatever.
Right.
Sure. But this was like, how would I know to flush a toilet eight times?
Oh, I left the care center and I was about to get to the helicopter. I was like, oh, crap. And even Maggie goes, you forgot to flush the toilet. I'm like, sure did. Gotta go flush the toilet.
Yep. Got to go flush it. So you got to flush it, a fixed amount of times, wait for X amount of bodies to fall into the vat. Then you have to not kill anything.
Right. You can't. You can push them, but you can't actually eliminate anybody.
Kneecap them a little bit, but you can't just kill them. What an adventure.
So many rules for a video game.
Yeah, and I'm going through on super casual mode. I don't care. I just did the ink ribbon classic style. I don't like. I was like, I had more than enough ink ribbons. It wasn't an issue of the ink ribbon thing. It was just like, now I'm juggling ink ribbons, and I'm a pack rat when it comes to games like this. And I'm like,
right.
Well, there's an ink ribbon container. I'm probably going to need this. I'll put this with my 71 ink ribbons that I have.
Just
and the other like 49 ink ribbon shells that can make an ink ribbon. But I need it. I don't know. And I'm like, and then I get to a point and it's like, you have no space for inventory. Make room. And I'm like, I need this.
I need this ink ribbon.
I guess I'll run all the way back to the main hallway so I can run all the way back here and pick up something stupid. Oh, and do I need 4 knives on me? Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, I do.
I don't care if I bought the one that doesn't break. I need the other 3.
I need all of them. I need all of the knives. Well, actually, I haven't bought that yet. So if I do get that, I think that changes a little bit, because then I'll be like, all right, I can break it down for scrap and make more bullets. I also need to unlock her submachine gun. I think
I got that yet.
A little bit of a game changer. My end game is I'm saving my points. I'm not buying anything. I'm going to go through the game 47 more times until I get enough points, because I want the infinite ammo.
And then I'm going to go for insanity on infinite ammo.
That's with the rocket launcher, preferably.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, infinite ammo with the hand cannon, if I'm going through with the Requiem, I'm not scared of anything.
No, yeah, I can. It's just play smart at that point. Just don't run into a room full of zombies. Or do. Yeah. You have a Requiem.
Or do. You have the Requiem. Once I learned that I have enough bullets, like based on what I have to fight, I was like, as soon as you realize that you throw the gun down and you're no longer using it, I ended that scenario with like 9 Requiem rounds. And I was like, whoa, I came into this with like 9 bullets. Let's use those 9 bullets.
Now's a good time.
And I went through the next playthrough, and I was doing the hiding from the girl and trying to turn on all the lights and reactivate the power stuff. And she would pop down, boom,
bang.
I got 9 rounds. Let's go. But yeah, I think it's fantastic. I did try to get Leon Kennedy's voice actor for Frightreads, and we'll all boo Nick for being overwhelmed because some successful
successful game came out.
Whatever.
Well, I don't need another reason to not do the job I'm supposed to do when I'm there. So
what a poor excuse. a successful video game.
Right.
But I actually it was funny. I was at AwesomeCon and he hit me up at like 1 a.m. like, yeah, no, it's I got a lot going on. I'm gonna be all over the world. Thanks for the offer though, bud. And I'm like, oh man.
Oh.
But yeah, there's always next year. Maybe it's not a Leon centric game. Maybe we get a Chris driven game so that way Leon can take a minute.
You can take a second.
And he can breathe, come up
That
with
DLC.
some yeah, we're gonna have DLC, and then I think that'll lead us into Resident Evil 5 reboot or Code Veronica, whatever. But everybody's like, it'll be Code Veronica, and I'm like, no, dude, you have to give Leon a minute. Like, we need Chris.
I need the
but I want a Barry game. Why did we just dismiss Barry? What happened to him? What happened to him? Yeah, I don't know if you saw, I got to meet the original full motion video cast of the original Resident Evil.
I did see that. That's really cool.
God. They were so cool. I also didn't know that Barry was Australian.
Really?
And we're getting up to the table, and my buddy Salem's dressed as Chris Redfield, just full nerd. And I was just like, he's shaking because he's like, this is his jam. Like, Resident Evil is life for him. So he gets up there and he gets to talk to, like, Barry's about to like talk to him, and he's like, oh, you think I can get a spot of tea? And I was like, why do you sound like Kino? Calm down there, Carl Urban. What's going on? And yeah, he's from Australia. He was just so chill. And I got to talk to the two of them about how terrible the voice acting was. And like, we didn't do the voice acting. I said, no. I would never tell the voice actors how bad it was. They know. I don't need to tell them. I'm just sharing with you how there's a place in my heart for how bad. And they actually wrote all the commas and periods when they signed. They were like, don't open, comma, that ... door ? And I was like, yep, that's
checks
about
out. Right. That nailed it.
I don't know what happened with the voice acting. It was like full Ron Burgundy. The teleprompter just had question marks and commas and periods. They're like, this blood. I hope it isn't Chris's blood. Like, why are there so many weird inflections? What's going on here?
You get William Shatner in for this?
Oh man, I would have paid for that. But there is a mod. So when they rebooted Resident Evil, I don't know, like 15 years ago or whatever, there's a voice mod that somebody went in and replaced all the voice bits with the old school game. So now you get these really nice, like, next gen high res looking graphics. And he's like, look out, Jill, behind you.
Fantastic.
Oh my God, it changes my life. I was like, this is beautiful and I love it. I'll love it forever. Yeah, but so you got book 3 on the horizon.
Book 3 is coming out this year, yes.
And that'll be by the fall show.
Yes.
When do the pre-orders go live? You said for about halfway to Halloween time, so in about a month or so?
I'm hoping to have some sort of thing at halfway to Halloween where somebody can pre-order it, and then I'll remember to order it for Frightreads. I haven't worked out the kinks with that yet. Pre-orders, I don't usually do them, except for like the Kindles on Amazon. But you know, my grandmother will want one, so I'll make sure I get one for my grandmother and have that set on the side. So yeah. But yeah, I'm hoping to do something like that for halfway to Halloween, because I know there's a lot of overlap of people that go to Frightreads. So if I can get 10 pre-orders, again, that's a instant revenue driving towards the table fee, and hopefully it kind of goes from there. But I know there's one person that comes halfway to Halloween that's going to ask about it. So
somebody's pre-ordering. That's all that matters. You got one sale. That's it.
One.
And pack you up the table. We're done.
That's right. I'm
Met
good.
the quota. Yeah, what's really cool is, like, so what I learned with halfway to Halloween, there are people that have no idea what the hell Frightreads is.
Yeah.
And they're like, I just came to this event because it was at the mall and it was called Halfway to Halloween. And they see the flyers for Frightreads Book Festival and they're like, what is that? And I'm like, that's the big boy show.
Yeah,
that's just for fun. This is just to keep us, like, take care of the itch, take the edge off for a little while.
This is the undercard. You want the main event.
This is the low effort, super chill event. You're not coming to the hip hop McDougal and Beach Creeper filled Scut Farkas, and
you're coming to Marley Station Mall,
which
barely exists. It's better than the one up by me, I guess.
We have one working neon light. and it's doing its best. Let's be honest.
The
It's
pizza
trying.
place is still there. So we have food.
Faro, I think they're going to tear the mall down and just leave that still
It's a
standing.
standing location.
It'll just be that and China Bowl. I think it'll be the two staples because China Bowl's been there since I was a kid. I don't know. Like I don't remember when it wasn't there.
Pizza and Chinese food. What more do we need in life?
That's really it. Yeah. So we're gonna have a lot of cool stuff. I was just talking with trying to plan some Hera's Nightmare stuff, and we might have some cool stuff with them. I think the original play, bringing that back into the fold,
Yeah,
it's going to be a dating game. But Prince Vlad needs to find his chosen woman, his chosen love. But I like how the emphasis is Prince Vlad. So I fully expect the actor to be dressed up as Purple Rain level Prince.
yeah.
With the Jerry curl and the whole nine, and be a vampire. And that's all I need. I don't need any plot. There needs to be no story. Just that's it. He's just up there, and we'll have fog. Dubs will release. Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun. There's going to be like both shows are different. They're same but different.
Yeah.
And in either case, the fudge place will be there, so I'll be able to keep some diabetes in my life. Yeah, so it's cool. I like that there's some people that only do one or the other, but a lot of people just go to both shows, and it's just really cool to see everybody. You get to talk to them ahead of time, and it's just like, oh, I can't wait for the big show. It's like this. There's no different. We're just gonna sit and talk to each other either way. But it's just something. There's a different thing. You just get more excited to see certain people, and I enjoy seeing. Like, I think it's kind of a fun thing because I do all of the marketing, all of the graphics. I put everybody's stuff together. I'm making the posts. I'm dealing with the spreadsheets, the invoicing, the whole nine. And I get to know a good chunk of everybody's names and faces. Like if you're a vendor, it's kind of hard because I might have a name and I might have a business name, but I never really see the face.
Right.
So somebody comes to me and like, hey, I run, Lisa's Lockets. And I'm like, I bet you do.
Great.
But a lot of the authors, I'll see them in the wild and I'm like, hey, what's up? It's you. And they're like, oh, you remembered me. And it's like, yeah. Pay your invoice.
I've seen your name, your invoice,
I've seen every step of the way. Like I'm very involved with all these different people. So it's really cool. And like, I almost take it personal when people don't come back. I'm like, what did I do? I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it's something I did. And they're like, no, I literally moved to Texas or somewhere. And I'm like, I don't care. There's plane tickets. There's cars.
Come on.
There's trains. I don't know how you can get up here, but you'll figure it out. Backpack and, hitchhike across the country. I don't know. I don't recommend that. So
no, I wouldn't either.
Murdered on the Way or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That is not on me. I am not liable.
Nope.
But yeah, I think it's just interesting. And I think I have a few more people that I'm announcing. The game is now what author is coming from the farthest away. So far, I think Texas has it.
Nice.
Texas has it right now. I mean, on the other side, going northbound, I think I have like Connecticut, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and all that stuff. So up that direction, that's pretty good. You're above New York. That's a stretch. And then all the way down as far as I think Florida and Georgia. So Texas is the farthest away. But I was talking to an author from the UK.
Oh wow.
And an author from Australia.
Well, that would damn.
And I was like, well, the UK author said, well, if push comes to shove, I can take the silver. And I was like, at least that Australia will never be dethroned as number one furthest away. But yeah, it's cool how it's just people from all over, and that's the best thing about this world is not everybody is within your immediate driving radius.
Right.
And it's like you'll meet people that now you get excited to see because you don't see them all the time because they're in Texas or Idaho or California or whatever, or the UK. They're in all these weird offshoot places that aren't within driving range. So it is cool. And I love the fact that it's I see a lot of the authors just huddle up, and there's almost like little friend groups have formed, people that have met at Fright Reads that, get excited to see each other every year. And I get the request, please put me next to my friend, insert author name here.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right. They met at the event, which is, I love that.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's I'm super excited that you're going to be at both Halfway to Halloween and Fright Reads proper. So if anybody is looking, I'll drop the link back up on here. They can go to your website. They can find you on social media, Amazon, whatever.
Yep. All of the above.
Look up your books. Do you have audiobooks off chance, or are they just print and digital print?
Right now, it is just print and Kindle. It is a blue sky to do an audiobook. I just want to make sure that we can do it in a way that is presentable and quality. So
Sure.
That's blue sky. That's hopefully down the road. But yeah, I would love to say yes, but I can't right now.
But the answer is probably.
The answer is I hope. Here's how we do that.
Sure.
Come to Fright Reads, buy all 3 books, and then that increases ever so slightly the chance that there'll be an audiobook down the road.
If everybody comes and buys all 3 books, guaranteed there will be an audiobook. If everyone buys every book.
That's right.
We'll make it happen. I think it's contractually binding. If they buy every single one and you leave with empty boxes, I think you have to do book 1's audiobook. I think I don't make the rules here.
I would love nothing more. I've got somebody that would love to narrate it already. Like she's also my editor. She's like, I would love to read it and narrate it too. I'm like,
yeah,
great. Let me get a proper sounding studio and a proper mic and the proper acoustics, and we'll make that happen just as soon as I get more money.
Well, you're here. You heard it here, folks. Buy every single one of those books. Everyone go out and pre-order this book in like a month.
Yeah.
And then there could be an audiobook on the horizon.
The Path of the Celts for the quest for more money. So
absolutely. Well, Andrew, it's been a blast.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks for stopping on. It's been fun.
Absolutely. It's always fun.
It's always fun to talk Rocky Horror to people.
Absolutely. Thank you again for arranging this and for having me at Halfway to Halloween and Fright Reads. I can't wait to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And anybody still watching, you can go to frightreads.com, see authors like Andrew and tons more. They're always getting announced every week. You'll see so many great people, so many special guests, musical performances at the Fright Reads Book Festival. And Halfway to Halloween, we'll have super cool guests. As I mentioned before, the bullies from Scream, Chris O'Brocki, Michelle Santiago, live stage plays, so much cool stuff. At Marley Station Mall in Glen Burnie coming up in like a month and some change. So we'll see you there. Thanks for tuning in. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.